听专家解读美国升学方案，看美国学习生活点滴，圆美国名校梦想。本节目由美国文美教育集团冠名播出。
大家好，欢迎收看文美集团美国升学直通车。文美集团美国升学直通车是华人网和文美教育集团联合制作播出的北美首档大型的网络直播教育节目。在我们的节目当中，你将会了解到最新最权威的教育资讯，还有升学的建议。无论你是学生还是家长，有任何的美国升学教育问题，都可以给我们留言。首先来介绍一下文美集团。美国文美集团，美国大学申请规划服务第一品牌，20年经验，万博士领衔常春藤顾问团队，中美双顾问模式服务一个学生，按照大学录取学校排名收费，与孩子形成利益共同体。华人老品牌，值得您的信赖。文美集团隆重推出 ACAP 大学专业及职业测评规划管理系统，华人升学机构首创，完美解决华人学生最大升学痛点。人工智能提前锁定大学专业方向，提前2到5年布局申请。有了专业测评系统，孩子的课程规划更清晰，活动更聚焦，文书更有故事感，大学申请更有竞争力。5到11年级学生都可以报名参加测评。文美集团1对1非营利组织成立运营领导力项目，让孩子从参与者变为领导者，真正成长、成人、成才进名校。5到11年级学生均可报名参加。文美集团社会影响力联合国网络义工课程，节省孩子时间，做名校认可的社会影响力，高大上义工。5到11年级学生均可报名参加。今天我们邀请到了前宾大的招生官，同时呢也是文美集团规划部文科的项目主管 Miss Mayer 来和我们聊一聊哈佛录取率是跌破了 4%， 那么高的 GPA 不再是优势，竞赛如何来成为名校申请的决胜筹。那么下面有请 Miss Mayer。Hello
everyone, my name is Meher and welcome to another college planning session. Today we'll be talking about competitions and why the competitions matter. So I will be spending a lot of time talking about those today. I am a college counselor and I work with students just like you, students who have real ambitions, who know what they want and who are willing to put in the work to get there. So let me start with a question. Think in your head if you know someone who had a near perfect GPA, strong SAT scores, impressive extracurriculars, and still got rejected from their dream Ivy League school. I'm sure in your head you could at least name one person or a couple of people actually. And that tells us something really important about the admissions landscape today. Harvard's class of 2028 had an acceptance rate of approximately 3.6%. Yale had around 3.7%. Princeton's acceptance rate was under 4%. And these are very, very low percentages. These are historic lows, and they are only going to get lower, unfortunately. And what these numbers tell us is that just being good, even being very good, is no longer sufficient. Admissions officers at these top schools are not just looking for smart students. They're looking for students who have already shown in a verifiable external way that they are exceptional. And today we are going to talk about one of the most powerful tools available to you, which is academic competitions. Academic competitions are not just activities or things that are added to your resume. If done right, these competitions can be the differentiating factor that turns your application from good or very good to excellent. And I do want to say that a lot of times we look at competitions as an extra burden, but I do want to say that competitions are a focused investment, one that really aids your application in a lot of ways. I will spend a couple of minutes talking about why grades and test scores are no longer enough. So let me put this out very plainly. At Harvard or Yale, the majority of the applicant pool has near perfect grades. Thousands of applicants have a 4.0 GPA and a 1550 plus SAT. So grades and test scores are really the floor. They're just helping you pass the academic review. They're not really the ceiling. Admissions officers at the Ivy League schools are trained to look beyond the academic transcripts. They're looking for things like intellectual depth. Have you gone beyond what your school required? Demonstrated passion? Have you pursued your interest with real commitment? External validation. Has someone outside your school confirmed that you are really good, you are exceptional? And I do want to flag here that academic competitions address all these three things: intellectual depth, demonstrated passion, and external validation. They force you to go deep into a subject. They reward sustained effort. And when you place well, they give the admissions officers the objective proof of your ability. Now I'm going to spend a little bit of time also explaining how not all competitions are created equal. Because a lot of times students think that any competition looks good, and I would explain you how we should be thinking of competitions in tiers. So and how should we decide on the competitions? So the tier 1 competitions are the game-changing ones in a way. They're the very elite competitions. So these are the competitions where even reaching the national round is meaningful to admissions officers. So the top tier competitions are ISEF, USAMO, USA Physics Olympiad, Science Olympiad, AI Olympiad, John Locke Essay Competition, SDS. Those are the tier 1 competitions. If you earn a top placement here, it goes near the top of your application. Then there are tier 2 competitions, which are strong and noteworthy. These are the national recognitions or strong regional results. Admissions officers know of these competitions. Examples would be Amy, Scholastic, DECA, MUN, USCCU. So those are really good awards, and I would place them in tier 2. And now tier 3 kind of awards they're good for participation and skill building. So all your local and school level competitions, I would put them in tier 3. These are good, but they matter less in isolation, but are more like, you could think of those as stepping stones. So examples would be local science fair, local math Olympiads, local or school level debate tournaments. So the strategy that I advise to my students very early down the road is to use to start with the tier 3 competitions early. So in grade 9, I would say get started with them to build skills, and then to target tier 1 and tier 2 competitions from there in your sophomore year and junior year. The other thing I do want to flag is that the subject alignment is very, very important when you pick the competitions. And the competition you choose must align with what you want to study and who you want to be on paper. A student who wants to study computer science but has no CS related competition or projects would certainly be questioned because there is not a lot of coherence there. And admissions officers are always trying to align, to look for alignment and to connect the dots. The second thing is I always advise students to against doing too many activities at a surface level. A student who places in the top 10 at a national math competition is far more compelling than a student who participated in 5 different competitions without any distinction. So that's another thing that you should really have at the back of your mind. And for parents, I do want to give a tip out here. Please resist the urge to make your child enter every competition available. The depth really beats the breadth every single time when you are aiming for the very elite schools. Now I will spend some time talking about some STEM competitions that I really encourage my students to do. And I will explain those to you in a little bit of depth and also explain why these competitions matter. So first I will talk about some mathematics competitions. So there is AMC, there is AMY, there is USAMO. These are the very well-known competitions for math students. AMC is really the entry point. Students in grade 10 and below take the AMC 10, and those in grade 11 and 12 take AMC 12. The top 2.5 to 5% of AMC scores are then invited to take AMY, and then the top performers on AMY are invited to the USAMO, which stands for the US Math Olympiad. So these are very, very valuable competitions. Schools like MIT, Caltech, Harvard specifically look for AMC and AMY performance in math-focused applicants. I do want to say that qualifying for AMY alone is a meaningful signal. Reaching to the US Math Olympiad places you amongst the very best young mathematicians in the country. And another thing I do want to flag is that it's free to enter the competition through the participating schools, and it runs in the fall. So start early for this, and this competition rewards long-term deliberate preparation, and cramming doesn't really aid well here. Then we have got the US Computing Olympiad, which is very good for students interested in computer science. It's really the tier 1 kind of competition that I would say. Students begin at the bronze level and progress through silver, gold, and platinum. So what you do with this competition is that you use C++, Java, or Python to solve algorithmic programming problems. And if you reach at the platinum level, it is really recognized by top universities and valued by top tech companies and even graduate programs. So this competition runs online from December through March. And as I mentioned earlier, this is really recognized by elite universities. It also develops computational thinking, and it is a very excellent avenue to learn more for students interested in software engineering, data science, and AI. A tip for parents is if your child is interested in CS, this is, in my opinion, a very high rewarding investment of your child's time. Then the ISEF, the International Science and Engineering Fair, is one of the most reputable science competitions available to high school students globally. It is called really the Olympics of science fairs. So students cannot really apply directly for this. Students must compete in affiliated local and regional science fairs, and then the winners advance to ISEF. This is a very, very excellent opportunity. Even reaching ISEF, regardless of placement, is a significant signal to the admissions officers. Even like the selectivity of this competition itself impresses admissions officers, even if a student does not necessarily win this competition. So the tip I have here is that start early. This is a multi-year project. Students should ideally begin developing their research question in grade 9 or grade 10, and then compete in the local fairs in grade 10 or 11. Then we have got SDS, Science Talent Research. This is also a very prestigious and actually one of the oldest research competitions for high school seniors in the US. And it is open to all US high school seniors conducting original independent research. The deadline for this typically falls in November of senior year. This is a very, very good opportunity as well, and requires a significant time commitment because you have to write a research paper, and it also requires you essays. So students who seriously want to pursue this should start on their research paper no later than summer before grade 11. And then we have got the Biology Olympiad for students who are passionate in life sciences or bio should really go for this. It is the top competition available for that space. The open exam typically takes place early winters, and then the top performers advance to national semifinals and then into an intensive training camp. Making to the national team or even reaching the semi-finalist round is a very powerful signal for any pre-med or biology-focused applicant. And it's super meaningful in terms of the admissions value. And also similar pathways exist in physics and chemistry for students interested in those areas. Now, I will spend a little bit of time talking about the non-STEM and humanities competitions. So I will start with the John Locke essay writing competition. This is a very, very prestigious essay competition in the world for high school students, and it is increasingly recognized by admissions officers at top universities like Harvard, Princeton, Yale, Stanford, even the UK universities. Students write one essay up to 2,000 words in one of the different categories that are available, such as econ, history, international relations, law, philosophy, politics, psychology, etc. Essays are judged by senior academics from top universities, and essay submissions are typically in June, and then the winners are announced later in the summers, and then there's an awards dinner in London in the fall. So I would say students who have been shortlisted or who win this competition have certainly been able to get a lot out of this, because this competition rewards independent thought, a depth of knowledge, and the ability to construct a rigorous argument. And these are the kind of qualities that the Ivy League admissions officers are looking for. I would say that choose this competition if you genuinely find this exciting and there's a question that you truly find exciting and are passionate about, because this is a very academic competition. So you have to really like this and enjoy a topic in order to write a successful essay. Then we have got another popular non-STEM competition, which is Scholastic Art and Writing Award. It's very good for students interested in art and writing. It covers short stories, personal essays, journalism, drama scripts, art. There is a lot that falls under it. The work is judged at the regional level for gold key, silver key, and honorable mention. Admissions officers at top schools really value the awards from Scholastic, and it's a pretty well-known competition. It is also a pretty nice award for students applying to schools with strong creative writing and journalism programs. And then we have got the National Speech and Debate Tournament. If you do those, especially the top level ones, those are great. Then we also have the National History Day. It is a year-long academic competition in which students research historical topics and present their findings through paper, website, documentaries, exhibits, performances. Students progress from school to regional to state to national competition. And this is a very nice competition that rewards original research, argument construction, source evaluation, and these are the kind of skills that admissions officers are really looking for. This is a particularly nice competition for students interested in history, political science, international relations, or law. Then we have the Young Arts competition. This is a very nice competition for the creative writers. So students who are serious about creative writing, visual arts, films, performing arts. The Young Arts program is one of the most selective and prestigious national recognitions available. And this competition is recognized by the very elite schools with very strong arts programs. So schools like Yale, Brown, Columbia really value this. Now, for the parents, I do want to flag here that your process and this whole process is more important than you realize. I would really encourage that you start the conversations with your children early on about the competitions. Secondly, support the depth, not really the breadth. As I mentioned earlier, the importance of it. I just wanted to reiterate this point as well. Thirdly, do not pick the competition. Help your child find their passion, because that would really help them be successful. Those are the things that I wanted to flag. I also do encourage creating a timeline for the competitions because it does take a lot of time to be successful, especially in the tier 1 and tier 2 competitions. So create a timeline, start early, look at the deadlines, see what you need to do. And for some of the competitions, it takes years. They are very long projects that you have to work on or prepare for. And finally, I'll just reiterate that competitions are one of the most powerful ways to stand out. And I hope that this session was helpful for you all. And that's it from my end for today. And I will see you in the next session. Thank you.
感谢 Miss 梅尔今天和我们的分享。你有任何的问题都可以直接来咨询文美集团。美国文美集团，美国大学申请规划服务第一品牌，20年经验，万博士领衔常春藤顾问团队，中美双顾问模式服务一个学生，按照大学录取学校排名收费，与孩子形成利益共同体。华人老品牌，值得您的信赖。文美集团隆重推出 ACAP 大学专业及职业测评规划管理系统，华人升学机构首创，完美解决华人学生最大升学痛点。人工智能提前锁定大学专业方向，提前2到5年布局申请。有了专业测评系统，孩子的课程规划更清晰，活动更聚焦，文书更有故事感，大学申请更有竞争力。5到11年级学生都可以报名参加测评。文美集团1对1非营利组织成立运营领导力项目，让孩子从参与者变为领导者，真正成长、成人、成才进名校。5到11年级学生均可报名参加。文美集团社会影响力联合国网络义工课程，节省孩子时间，做名校认可的社会影响力，高大上义工。5到11年级学生均可报名参加。感谢大家的收看，我们下次再见。